Nearly every major life decision I've ever made is directly influenced by a girl. I bought this van because of a girl, and it worked. We dated, but not for very long. I began surfing because of a girl. I'd even host group dinner parties as an excuse to invite and impress my friend's single friend. Both Robert Irwin projects in 2022 were filmed, edited, and released within a week of separate rejections by girls.
At the time that I was traveling Sunny Coast and Darwin, I DM'd a girl.
I met Alex Tam because of that girl. The original script of my next episode of Welcome to Denzel's World had me return to the sunny coast so I can have an excuse to try again in asking her out. There's literally no other reason why I came up with the idea of I spent 50 hours in the 90s. There's so many more examples. This list is extensive, somewhat embarrassing, but know that I'm not the only one guilty of this unorthodox motivation.
Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.
I gotta go see about a girl?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
We all know of someone who's gone to see about a girl. I can list about half a dozen mates in an instant. But let's also address the elephant in the room. To all the women watching, don't lie. You're just similar in nature to us men. You didn't move cities because of a career change. You moved because you knew there was a guy there. And I say all this in jest because relationships, whether Facebook official or not, motivate us to get out of the bed each and every morning. It leads us to fulfilling moments in life. My dad, for instance, almost committed to a lifetime of working on a boat as an engineer.
Dad, why did you immigrate to Australia?
I find love. That's it. That's that question.
And I'm the product of that major life decision influenced by a girl. Another example I'd like to use to help drive my point further is if it weren't for a certain Renaissance beauty, Leonardo da Vinci would not have painted the Mona Lisa, a portrait of his lover and muse. For those who don't know, the word muse is derived from the Greek goddesses, the muses.
We are the muses, goddesses of the arts.
And it means this: a person or personified force who is the source of inspiration for a creative artist. And I would go as far as to say that it actually brings out the best form of work we could possibly create. Which leads me to this question. To what extent are you willing to go to impress a girl? It baffles me that people in Asia are willing to whiten their skin. Now, for context, if you are of darker complexion, it implies that you work out in the fields. If you work out in the fields, it means you don't make as much money in comparison to someone who works in an office. If you work in an office, you're not as exposed to the sun and therefore naturally have lighter skin. So for those wanting to whiten their skin, they do it so that they can prove they have status, essentially trying to impress people. Now let's bring it to a Western context. There are people on social media willing to flaunt their watches and their fast cars, things that they know they actually can't afford, or so they can prove to people they have status. But essentially, they're faking that status. To what extent are you willing to go to impress a guy or girl? And I would say that those two examples I mentioned, they have their muses to live life. They're inspired that, if I try and impress these people, I should do X, Y, Z. I should look like this. I should wear this and drive this. But it's actually compromising who they truly are. As established at the beginning of this episode of the God-Given Talent podcast, through the many examples I listed, I do believe that impressing a girl can be a healthy motivation if done the right way. See them as your muse. Now, your muse should never lead you to compromise who you truly are, essentially forcing you to put a fake self out there for the whole world to see. No, it should never be that. A muse, or this way of impressing a girl, this healthy motivation, should always bring the best out of you. That's what leads to fulfilling moments in life. Even though my relationship ended up in flames, I don't regret buying a van. I don't regret learning to surf. I don't regret meeting Alex Tam. I grew into the best artistic version of myself all because a few girls said no, and for that, I say thank you. All these major life decisions were influenced by a healthy dose of wanting to impress a girl. And that is the secret to who my muses are. This better look good on